Call this order, please. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Pittman. Here. Pittman here. Johnson. Johnson absent. Frausto here. Frausto here. Thompson. Thompson absent. Johansson.
I thought you were.
Johansson absent. Hawley here. Hawley here. Poulos. Poulos absent. Vieta.
Here.
Vieta here. Bellato.
Here.
Bellato here. Rita.
Here.
Rita here. Donahue. Donahue absent. Carr.
Here.
Carr here. Slattery.
Here.
Slattery here. Osling.
Here.
Osling here. Vice President, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next presentation of journal of proceedings. I need a motion to approve the city council minutes for the date of July the 26th, 2016. Do I have a motion by Alderman Hawley, a second by Alderman Slattery? Any questions? Roll call, please.
Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Frausto.
Aye.
Frausto, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Vieta.
Aye.
Vieta, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Slattery.
Aye.
Slattery, aye. Osling.
Aye.
Osling, aye. 9 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Council.
Good evening. You are all welcome to this evening's meeting. As observers, you are politely reminded that the purpose of the meeting is for the deliberation of the city council and the mayor regarding city governance and city business. If you intend to speak, please, once recognized by the mayor, approach the podium, announce your name and address. Please be advised comments may be limited to 3 minutes or reported to the appropriate city personnel for follow-up.
Thank you very much. Anyone?
Me? That's me.
Name and address.
Tony Patella. I am the assistant director at the day camp here in Blue Island. Been doing it for many years. It's a big deal, I guess, huh? Standing in front of all these people. I just wanted to come in and talk about the rec center that we have down on 140th in California, 141st in California. I speak extremely highly of it. I know a lot of people may be against it or for it, but I've heard both sides, and I'm coming in and say that what has happened down there is incredible. We use it for all levels at the day camp, 4-year-olds to 12-year-olds. Today we were actually over there with 10 to 12, and the door is open. We've got community around us, this and that. Sometimes they're over there. I've seen that they put up some new stuff, new basketball nets on the outside. I was there for a National Night Out not too long ago, and kids just going up and down the court outside. And just what they have done and what the community has done so far since it's been open, I mean, I couldn't speak any more volume about it. And I think that the town needs to be recognized for it. And I think that the way things are going, there can be an extreme amount of use outside just the community. Other people from different communities can come in and use it. I really, really speak highly of it. And I think it's great for the town of Blue Island.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Go ahead. You're next. We'll just need your name and address. That's it.
Tim and Tammy Cleros. We live at 12237 Irving, 7th Ward.
How can we help?
Every Sunday morning we take a bike ride through Blue Island, and one of our favorite stops is, we thought it was the aeration facility, but I guess it's called, you guys call it the waterfall, but anyhow, we think it's a really, was a really nice thing for Blue Island to receive it. It cost a lot of money, a lot of work went into it. But lately when we go there on Sunday, it seems like there was all hell broke loose on Saturday night. There's like broken bottles all over the place. There's garbage. There's stones actually. They're actually taking stones out of the walls over there and stuff.
Trash.
And it just breaks my heart to see the place go. So what we wanted to find out is there any way that we could either police it or close it at a certain time to keep riffraff out of there.
Put
or-
signs up like close
That
at
is
dusk.
the Water Reclamation District property. It's not city of Blue Island property. So we would have to talk to them. Go ahead, Alderman.
I attended Blessing of the Waters there about a few weeks ago, and I noticed things that I met with Water Rec last summer, and it seems like we could just stay on top of them. I noticed that they pulled out a bunch of bushes, just threw mulch down, and the weeds. And I know one of the comments with the weeds is that they've adopted a program that they don't kill the weeds because it's bad for the environment. So they go in there and pull the big ones. So
Okay.
we can't really do anything with all those, but it's irritating to see that. But I sent an email about the big areas where they pulled stuff out, the rocks. I took a bunch of pictures. I met with Deborah Shore's assistant. She's a commissioner of the Metropolitan Water Rec. They're supposed to address it this year. I just did that a few weeks ago. It seems like we just stay on top of them because they're the ones that maintain it and own it.
Even if we can put a couple more trash cans out there. We went by there, there's just one, and it seemed like for the whole area. You know, sometimes, you know, if you put 3 or 4 closer to the people, they might be able to like walk that extra step in.
We'll make a
I
request
think
to
that's
Water
something
Rec.
good.
Okay.
That was
See what we
one.
can do.
That was one. I'm so sorry. I know we got 3 minutes. The other thing is we were wondering if there's any possibility we can start a campaign for cleaning up Blue Island. My husband does a magnificent job on 123rd, cleaning up from Irving or from Vincennes to Western. And we just feel like if possibly we can get the schools invited, the kids, and they can get come up with a slogan and probably get signage where maybe each resident could put it in front of their house to know that they're doing something to clean it up. It is terrible out there. We want to keep it clean. I did some pricing looking into it, and the signs can be very, you know, the more you buy, the cheaper the signs can
Almost like
become.
adopt a block.
Something like that.
Something.
Something.
Like the
It's just-
Spend It in Blue Island slogan, but on a citywide scale where
What we
people
can do
people
is
have a little
we'll
more.
take your name and number, we'll get in contact with you by tomorrow, and we'll try to set something up. with
Yeah,
us.
perfect.
We'll work
Thank you.
together. Thank you very much for your interest. Thank you.
Brianne Gonzalez-Zillman. I feel like I'm a regular up here. First of all, most of you already know, a lot of teachers spend their times in the summer at beaches and zoos, and I've spent my summer at the John D. Reed Recreation Center. And I gotta tell you, I leave this week, and I'm so happy to say, I was a little worried at first, to be honest with you. I'm so happy to say it is in great condition. The community appreciates it. Obviously, the people that were down there for National Night Out, you've seen the kids wanting to clean up. They helped, the Park District gave us a bike rack, they helped paint the bike rack. They helped the bulletin boards. They're even coming inside doing crafts, boys.
And it was Blue Island Blue, correct, that bike rack?
Pardon me?
Blue Island Blue.
It is Blue Island Blue. I knew you would notice that. That's why it's Blue Island Blue. They're doing crafts. It is awesome. There's a lot. Josh Edwards has got a lot of things planned down there come for the fall. I just want to say thank you. I go back to school on Monday, so I'm pretty much got 2 more things down there. Thursday we're doing a senior meet and greet, so that's one thing need a little bit of help out with the seniors. So we're doing a meet and greet down there in the morning at 10 o'clock. Other than that, our pickleball is picking up. Thanks for the aldermen that showed up and played. We haven't seen you down there yet. Are you? Just pointing that out. So come on down, play pickleball. Otherwise, it's wonderful. The classes have gone from 5 or 10 high school people to 25 high school members. The adults, it's getting so big. I believe Josh Edwards is starting an adult basketball league. So everything's going great down there. I want to say thank you, and I will be checking in on it periodically, but I gotta go back to school Monday. So thank you.
Thank you for your service. Name and address.
Philip Faymanville, 12723 Maple.
How can we help you?
I might have to just address this with Mr. Hawley, my first floor.
Will you address it to me? and then go-
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
A stop sign on the southwest corner of the intersection of Maple and High, where there's a school. My main issue is when I'm backing out of, well, my son has a house on that block too, of which I'm a co-owner, 12918 Maple. You can't back out of there when cars who, and I'm sure everyone here notices no one's using their turn signals anymore, so the cars blow right through the intersection. You can't back out, especially when there's school. Now, there's kids in the street, there's people double parked, trying to get out of there. It's impossible to do it safely for several minutes at a time. So it will be the southwest corner of High and Maple for the northbound traffic.
Okay. In fact, we'll pass this on to municipal services and also to our police, so if we can review this issue.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this.
And since I have about a minute left, my wife and I have talked about the problem with trash in the street, which I pick up my entire corner. Beautified Blue Island, one big B, beautified Blue Island. That's something I came up with.
There you go. Thank you very much.
I mean, I was working on it.
We have ourselves, if you don't mind us using it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Your peanut gallery, Mayor, your peanut gallery's here tonight. And Steve-O, good evening, City Council, Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Steve, how can we help you?
It was such an honor and such a privilege I felt as a citizen to attend the funeral of our beloved Charles Otten 73 years ago. He left us. It was such an honor.
I'm
And
glad
it
you were
was
there.
Such an honor that you were there, Mayor. Where were the rest of elected officials? They should have been there. They missed out on a golden opportunity, and they really should have been there. Mayor, as well as other people, I'm very happy the bridges are finally open. The bridge is finally open. But it just seems like that it would have been more appropriate if you would have been the master of ceremony, since you are the mayor of Blue Island.
We're all working
It
together.
is a Blue Island bridge.
We're all working together for the betterment of Blue Island.
Doesn't seem that way, Mayor, from a certain point of view. It doesn't seem that way.
Maybe through your eyes, but it is. We're working together.
No, it just doesn't seem that way. You know,
Anything
all
else,
the
Mr.
all the
Steele?
misinformation.
Anything else, Mr. Steele?
We'll never know if that money was not properly spent. We'll never know, Mayor.
It was spent, Mr. Steele.
It was
You
spent,
saw-
but
You saw the result, Mr. Steele.
we don't know if it was properly spent because of the no bids. And we don't have the money to waste, Mayor, as you will know. We don't have the money to waste. And Robinson Engineering, they didn't protect the workers there with a safe work environment. And it is a blue bridge, Mayor. It is a blue bridge. It made a lot of people blue, sad when it was closed. Carlos Salgado spoke against it, the closing of the bridge. 3 days later, he was dead.
Mr. Steele, what does that have to do?
Evan Buckhouse, a worker there, he was valedictorian of his high school class, a graduate of Marquette University. He was a professional engineer. He lost his life on that bridge, Mayor, because Roberts Engineering, our engineering company, did not provide a safe workplace. It cost us taxpayers a lot of money, Mayor.
Anything else, Mr. Steele? Got a minute left. A minute left, Mr. Steele.
We do have our rights, don't we,
Yes, you do,
Mayor?
and you're having it right now.
We do have our rights.
You're exercising it right now, Mr. Steele.
So we must never forget these two gentlemen who passed away. And one of them mysteriously, one of them, it was obstruction of justice to cover up. And some people suggest, they asked me to tell you that perhaps it would be more appropriate that the bridge be painted red for the blood that was lost in that bridge.
Anything else, Mr. Steele?
But Mayor, Carlos Salgado is not forgotten, Mr. Bellato.
Mr.
He
Steele.
is not forgotten.
Address it to me.
Any questions? Any questions on the council?
Anything else, Mr.
questions?
Steele? Your time is up.
Well,
Okay, move, take your hat off too.
peanut gallery, Mayor, peanut gallery.
I ain't no peanut gallery.
Peanut gallery.
You take your hat off.
Peanut gallery.
Enough, enough.
All right, move on. Move on to the next. Let me come down.
I respect you, right?
Alderman Crossell?
Oh, yes, please do it. Let me introduce the next part. Again, it's report of city officials, presentation of resolutions. I'm going to read the title. A resolution in support on the restoration of the history of the Mexican-American worker mural in the 6th Ward. Alderman, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I give a few words with regards to tonight's resolution before you, first I should say good evening to the City Council, Mayor, members in the audience. I was going to read a piece written named Whitewashed Wall, Hidden History. But what better than the person who wrote it to come up here and read it. So I'd like to invite Laura de los Santos to come up here and read this nice historic work with regards to this mural.
Thank you. Buenas noches. Good evening, everyone. Laura de los Santos, 2449 Orchard Street. This is a piece of history that is relevant here in Blue Island and nationally that I hope to share with all of you guys. I hope you can all appreciate it. In 1974, Blue Island community member and artist Jose Nadio and fellow Blue Islander and president of the Latin American Advisory Council, August Salas, who's joined us here tonight. Mr. Salas, say hello. Sought to create a mural on an exterior wall of a privately owned building that would speak to the sizable population of some 2,000 Mexican Americans living, working, and paying taxes in Blue Island. Mexican communities had emerged in Blue Island during these early 20th century along several railroad lines. While these settlers and generations of their descendants and compatriots helped Chicago develop into a major metropolis through their labor on railroads, in the meatpacking industry, and in the steel factories, their presence was largely ignored and relegated to the city's margins. The mural, The History of the Mexican-American Worker, brought to light the Mexican presence and participation in Chicagoland's and the United States economies and histories, through images of meat factory workers, railroad workers, steel workers, and farm workers. The new mural would document and publicly proclaim the presence of the working class community of Blue Island. You see, just a few years prior, a movement had begun in Chicago, a movement of Chicago artists and community members that within the African American and Latino neighborhoods of Chicago, they would create beautiful murals that would create a movement that spread across the country and around the world. Called the Community Mural Movement, it was a means by which groups that had been largely ignored by mainstream society would make themselves and their issues visible. Murals on publicly visible exterior walls gave people a voice, making these murals the most democratic art the United States has ever produced. Salas acquired the support of Illinois Steel, the Illinois Labor History Society, and the Illinois Arts Council, and Chicago muralists Ray Batlan and Vicente Mendoza were recruited to work with Nadio. Shortly after the artists began to work, painting was brought to a halt by city officials and police threatening to fine and arrest the building owner and artists. According to the city building inspector, the Black Eagle emblem of the United Farm Workers was an advertisement that required a permit, contingent on city approval. Recently returned from a tour of duty in Vietnam, artist Ray Batlan had been trained to defend American ideals with his life. So without hesitation, he asked the officials what they thought the mural was advertising. The city building inspector declared, "Your race." After the project failed to acquire the necessary approval, each and every member of City Hall was brought to court in their official capacity and as individuals. By August Salas, the Illinois Labor Historical Society, and artist Ray Batlan, and the Chicago chapter of the American Civil Liberties Union became involved. The court ruling in favor of the plaintiffs became a nationally recognized precedent-setting decision reaffirming artists' civil rights. The ACLU considered this case a, quote, precedent-setting decision upon which muralists' freedom hinges, now sanctioned in that mural's completion, end quote. The history of the Mexican-American worker, the mural, was left largely undisturbed for 23 years, which is amazing because the average history of a mural without retouch is 12 years. That mural was, and it's not only an aesthetic element to that part of Blue Island, to all of Blue Island, but it sparked conversations among family members, among neighbors, among ourselves and other communities. And I think that was important for the fabric of Blue Island, for the fabric of society in general. And I think it would not only beautify Blue Island and in an area that needs some help right now, but I think it could put us in a dialogue with other communities. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Laura. Thank you, Laura, for the brief history on what happened at those times. And before I read the resolution, I just wanted to share some words with the council tonight. And just mention, I'm sure you've all seen the artwork displayed there. That's the mural that will be coming back soon. This town right now is going through historic times. You've seen it last week. Bridge that was closed for many years reopened. And there's many good things happening in town. This weekend we have the Dragon Boat Race that's promoting our town and putting us in the map in so many different areas and sectors in different communities. This resolution today before you also displays the test of time. You know, the struggles that Mr. Salas and the artists went through at that time, trying to express their freedom of speech and their rights, and ultimately, you know, winning in their favor, and just the resistance that they met, and where we're at today as a city council, as a people, as what we learned from our past and how we move forward. Tonight we are showing that we are making a wrong right, and we are supporting something that's currently being constructed and efforts that are being led by members of La Causa, which stands for the cause, and that is an acronym for the Creative Alliance Uniting Social Art. You know, it's just amazing what's happening now, the support that this group is getting from the community, from the business owners of all different backgrounds. This mural here, named History of the Mexican American Worker, yes, that's a mural that depicts the struggles of my heritage. But if you look at that image, that easily depicts the many different stages that this town has gone through. German American, Italian American, Irish American, anybody that's come in here and helped build this town. Every group has gone through their times and troubles. You know, the African American community, you know, the rights that they had to fight for, you know, Civil Rights Act. Just you look at that and you can see that, but you could also look at that in different communities and different peoples. So this is a very important mural that set precedent, and because of the law that was won in favor of the plaintiff, you know, you see public art all over Chicago and all over the nation. So I just wanted to share those words that, you know, this is really significant and this is very historic for our town. And that being said, I wanted to, before I do read the resolution, I also wanted to invite up here Mayor Vargas. You wanted to say a few words?
Oh, Mr. Salas.
Mr. Salas as well, and our members of La Casa that are present. Mr. Pataska, if you wanted to come up here, stand up here. This is a very important moment
Mr. Salas,
in our town.
Can you join us? Maybe Mr. Salas can give us a little bit of brief history. Again, he was one of the founders of this movement. Mr. Salas, the mic's yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank you, everybody. And in my heart, I'm still a Blue Islander. I own a house here at 12743 Division Street. I lived in Blue Island 30 years with my family of 6, a wife and 6 children. Went to St. Donatus Church, and I said we're from the east side of Blue Island. I don't live in Blue Island anymore, but I do own a house here. I live in Chicago in a neighborhood called Little Village, 26th Street, predominantly a Mexican neighborhood. But when I was living here, I founded an organization called the Latin American Advisory Council. And the reason I created it is for Mexican community to have a voice in any affairs of the city that impacts on our community, the Mexican community. So the Latin American Advisory Council, I was the president. I founded the organization, and we did a lot of things in Blue Island. We had a little health fair at Lincoln School. We had a Mexican fiesta at it's now called Father Silvestri's Park on the east side. We helped District 130 Eisenhower High School. We helped Moraine Valley get a bond issue passed so they can build Moraine Valley College. We did a lot of things. Voter registration. I was involved politically. We helped the mayor that we helped at the time 43 years ago was Richard Withers. His brother, Bob Withers, was also a member of the Board of Education for 130 Eisenhower. And so Richard Withers, his administration, when we announced we wanted to have a mural painted here on Broadway and Western, I got a call from the building inspector and told me that you can't paint that mural. You have to have a permit because you're advertising. And I told him we're not advertising anything. In our culture, in Mexican culture, murals are a form of free public art. I said, well, if you paint it, if you do it, you're going to get arrested. I said, well, we're going to paint it. So the day that we decided to paint it, we got money. First, I should back up. And we got a grant from the Illinois Art Council. Gave us a grant. I forgot how much it was, but I was able to hire 3 muralists. I hired Ray Padlan, who was a muralist in the Pilsen neighborhood in Chicago, and then I hired Vicente Mendoza, and then Jose Nario, who was a good friend of mine, lived in Calumet Park, but he was an artist. So the 3 of them, I hired the 3 of them. We rented a scaffold. We set up, and the day we announced we were going to start painting the mural, and we were again threatened that if we do it, I was going to get arrested. And I told them, the muralists, they asked me, what do we do, Augie? I said, paint the mural, started painting. And luckily, well, we weren't bothered by the police. Nobody bothered us, and the muralists proceeded to paint the mural. And the mural was the idea, of course, it was my idea because in Pilsen neighborhood, there are a lot of murals there, beautiful ones, and also in Little Village. And this mural, I told the muralist, I said, give me a sketch of what it should be about. And I told him, I'll just give you what I think it should be about, the evolution of the Mexican-American worker, from a farm worker to a steel worker to a packing house worker, to become a doctor and a lawyer and so on. So that's what they came up with this painting, and I said, fine, make it happen. And they painted the mural, and after it was done, we had a dedication of the mural. And we invited a priest from St. Benedict's to do an invocation at the dedication. And we gave out everybody a little American flag to wave. And we had about 40, 50 people at the dedication. And there was a political candidate, Marty Russo. Marty Russo was running for Congress at the time. I mean, first time out. And Marty Russo came to the dedication. And I told him, I let him say a few words, I said, Marty, thank you for coming. And I said, I wanted everybody to touch the wall as a sign of support. So everybody there, Marty, Russo, the priest, everybody touched the wall. And then we did other things. I never realized that we had a lot of news coverage. The Sun-Times wrote quite a bit about it. In fact, someone told me that they have it in the Honolulu Times, and in Mexico they were writing about the mural. And I called it the forbidden Mexican mural of Blue Island. I said it was something I'm proud of, and I support the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Salas. Mayor,
Yes.
2 words?
Yes. I'm going to have my back to the council. Forgive me for this. Again, this comes to heart growing up, being born in 1962, going to grammar school here at St. Benedict's. Again, if you understand, Blue Island was divided within the Hispanic community. Certain people lived in the Broadway area. My family grew up on the Irving Street area. Again, as you know, we had our humble beginnings in the railroad yard in Rock Island by 123rd Street, living in boxcars. So that hits home. Mr. Salas, it hits home. It hits home because of this. The American dream come true. The beginning to the present, the mayor of the city of Blue Island. And what an honor it is to be here standing in front of you as the mayor of the city of Blue Island. That is reality coming true. Not only for the Mexican American, but for everyone, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, etc. It's the progress. The struggles that we all have gone through as peoples, and we will continue going through, but we all, as our slogan is here in Blue Island, everyone working together. Everyone working together. And our color is blue. City of Blue Island's color is blue. No other color. Read it.
Thank you. Again, just before I read it, I really want to thank the City Council for their support, all members. You are supporters of public art in this project. A resolution in support of the restoration of the history of the Mexican-American worker mural. Whereas the mayor and the City Council of the City of Blue Island wish to support the history of the Mexican-American worker mural that was originally created in 1974-75. You can stay up here, Mark. You're part of the group.
I don't want to be in the way of the camera.
Whereas this mural was originally commissioned by Blue Island resident and president of the Latin American Advisory Council, August Salas, and created in 1974-75 by artists Ray Patlan, Vicente Mendoza, and Jose Nario. And whereas the history of the Mexican-American worker mural that was created in 1974-75 has since been whitewashed and is no longer visible. And whereas the mayor and the City Council of the City of Blue Island support the restoration and update of the history of the Mexican-American worker mural created in 1974-75, and whereas the mayor and the City Council of the City of Blue Island support members of La Causa, Laura de los Santos, Miguel Salgado, Jason Berry, Mark Potasca, and Jairo Frausto in their efforts to restore the mural, The History of the Mexican-American Worker. And whereas this mural brought to light the Mexican presence and participation in the histories and economies of the Midwest and the United States through images of meat factory workers, railroad workers, steel workers, and farm workers. And whereas the restored and updated mural will document and publicly proclaim the presence of the working class Mexican community of Blue Island. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and the City Council of the City of Blue Island, County of Cook, and State of Illinois, do hereby offer our support for the new history of the Mexican-American worker mural. Mayor, I'd like to ask you to initiate a motion.
We have a motion by Alderman Vieira, second by Alderman Bellato. Any questions? Roll call.
Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Fausto.
Aye.
Fausto, aye. Holly.
Aye.
Holly, aye. Vieta.
Aye.
Vieta, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Slattery.
Aye.
Slattery, aye. Osling.
Aye.
Osling, aye. 9 ayes.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just one quick thing, after council ends, I'd like to have a group photo of all the council members with this mural. Just don't leave after council's done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As was mentioned a little bit earlier, what an honor. A week ago Friday, Private First Class Charles Etchin, 73 years later, that Marine came home. Blue Island was in the news because we didn't forget it. MIA came home, Marine came home, and we gave a tribute to him, going all the way over here, along with the Illinois Patriot Guard, and we gave him a homecoming. And I want to be proud of Blue Island for doing that. The family thanks you, this administration thanks you, the elected officials thank you. The family knows you have the support. Blue Island had its back. Again, I want to thank you for that. Secondly, as was mentioned a little bit earlier, National Night Out was a huge success. The rec center being rehabbed, the money invested, the money properly invested for the community, and it shows, and it continues to grow. St. Donatus, again, another success, another institution that 107 years has been going on, and it's not stopping, it's not ending. Great crowds, mixture of everyone from east, south, east, and west out there. And again, last week, the opening of the Division Street Bridge. Again, Blue Island has been in the news for the last 2 weeks, Starting out with the microburst. The honor of our Marine. The opening of the Division Street Bridge. And I know I'm missing one. But again, we've been in the news for positive, for what this community is all about. Everyone working together. And I mentioned this at the opening of the Division Street Bridge for the elected officials that were there. The majority were you there. The Vermont Street crossing is closed. It's much needed repair. And I'll take the blame for the dust, the construction, the delays, etc. But it's progress in the city of Blue Island. There's progress all over the city of Blue Island. As they mentioned, there's events. People are coming from all over, as far as Milwaukee, to come and join us in not only for the festivities, to enjoy our local businesses. We will be doing another ribbon cutting at 123rd Place on the 17th. The street was redone right by Paul Revere. And again, I understand there's a lot of streets that need to be done in Blue Island. In fact, I brought this up to the city council 2 city councils ago, the audit. $31 million to do the whole city. And there's priorities as to which streets need to be done. We know about it. I know about it. We need to get the money. And we're aggressively seeking the money. Federal, state, and local. And we will continue aggressively seeking those funds. Any bids?
No bids, Your Honor.
City clerk's business.
Yes, I need a motion to approve a block party to be held Saturday, August 13th on Oak Street between Greenwood and Maple from noon to 10 p.m.
We have a motion by Alderman Hawley. Do I have a second by Alderman Bellato? Any questions? Roll call, please.
Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Fausto.
Aye.
Fausto, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Vieta.
Aye.
Vieta, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Slattery.
Aye.
Slattery, aye. Osling.
Aye.
Osling, aye. 9 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
And next, there was on the agenda a motion to approve a request for Christian Lysander to hold outdoor service on August 28th. Their initial times were 10 a.m., and that would conflict with St. Benedict, so they've asked that we table this until next meeting.
Do you need a motion for that?
Yes.
Need a motion to table by Alderman Slattery, second by Alderman Rita. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Pittman.
Aye.
Pittman, aye. Fausto.
Aye.
Fausto, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Vieta.
Aye.
Vieta, aye. Bellato.
Aye.
Bellato, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Slattery.
Aye.
Slattery, aye. Osling.
Aye.
Osling, aye. 9 ayes, Your
Thank you very much. Anything else?
Honor. That's it.
City treasurer?
No report, Your Honor.
Thank you. City attorney? Committee reports, Community Development Committee?
Yes, Your Honor. Community Development Committee met on Wednesday, July 20th. The meeting was called to order at 7:02. Present were Alderman Hawley, Bellato, Carr, Osling, Pittman, and Johansson. Absent were Alderman Rita and Frausto. Also present were Jason Berry, Sean Terry, Director Rita, Treasurer Bellato, Rayanne Cantello Zillman, the Esparzas, Rocco, and Dave Heisman. Under public comment, Heisman had heard about a state program to help homeowners who are underwater with their mortgage. It is a federal program, and you need to meet certain criteria to be eligible. It's called HARP. If you need that help, please look into that. Mrs. Piccolini also spoke for Mr. Esparza, who owns the property just east of the tracks on Median. They have had somebody who's been interested in opening a daycare there. The Plan Commission had asked some questions about drop-off and pickup issues, and they sent it to the Zoning Board of Appeals to look at the plans and address the drop-off area. The Zoning Board of Appeals, once it was appointed, will take that up and make a recommendation for City Council after that. Mr. Rocco presented his business plan for a wine bar. He was just giving out some information and checking to see if there was some support. The mayor had asked him to come to community development to get a feeling about the possible additional liquor license. The general consensus was if the gaming was not a central purpose of the business, that it would be okay for them to start the application process. Under old business, motion was made by Alderman Bellato and seconded by Alderman Osling to approve the minutes from the June 11th meeting. Under new business, Rayanne Cantel-Zillman reported that open gym is working great for the kids at the rec center. High schoolers have their time, younger kids have their time. They started a craft program and the numbers keep going up. They started with 5 high school kids and they're up to 25. They started pickleball on Monday nights. They have been making trips to Memorial Park Pool. It started out with no one, and there are more and more every week. They have a bus that picks up the kids at the rec center and takes them up to the pool, and for $5 they get to go to the pool and have a snack and return back to the rec center. They're looking into line dancing. There's also been a chess club that started. They're collecting board games, and the kids are staying later to play games after scheduled activities are over. They've hired 3 part-time clerks to work for the police department, and they are there in the police office every day during the day. They will be starting outside repairs, including power washing and painting, installing a light on the flagpole. National Night Out was happening down there on August 2nd. Everything is working very well with the Park District, and everyone is working well together. Park District staff is liking it down there, and they are getting things going. The Untouchables will also be using the outdoor area, and they're talking to Senior Suites and Calumet Township seniors for getting trips down there to use the gym and other areas of the rec center. Channel 4 is running mostly graphics. Ben, who works at the station, will be at National Night Out and the Division Street opening, in addition to taping and presenting City Council. Jason Berry presented the building and planning report. The revenues for June were $32,132. Total revenues for the period ended June 2016 was $322,093.58. The number of permits issued are about 70 more than last year at the same time. The number of vacant properties registered is down 30 from last year, which is a good thing. Residential inspections continue to be aggressive. They are up over 100 from last year. Commercial inspections are up over 50 from last year. Sean Terry has been doing a lot more of the inspections. Housing court summons and complaints received are down significantly from last year. Both are good signs that people are complying. Sean Terry presented a business license report. There was 1 approved license from Pink Squeaky Cleaning Services. They clean houses for private residences by appointment. They have 1 full-time employee and 1 part-time employee. There was a new business application from Chicago Concrete Studio, 2154 Vermont. They submitted an updated business license application to expand into the Iowa Interstate property, the former Vermont Cabinetry building. Alderman Bellato asked about flag signs in town. Mr. Terry said he would address those issues. And he also asked about the empty lot west of the new Thorntons and who was supposed to be maintaining it. Mr. Berry said that they are, and he would contact them. There was an application for a facade improvement by Raven's Place that was passed out. He's asking for a $5,000 grant and he's ready to go. We asked that he come back with complete plans and drawings and a complete application. If he has all that together and needs to have it sooner, we were willing to have a special meeting. And then Director Rita mentioned that Larry Goretto mentioned Lansing's businesses required an architect that knew what would pass through their design committee and what they were looking for to help business owners with their designs. It would help the process move faster. Everyone was interested in that idea, and Jason Berry's going to look into that. Jason presented another version of the plans for the business district for a section of Old Western Avenue. We discussed lighting, options for street lighting, and pole designs were reviewed. Discussion of using brick on Old Western. If no brick is under the asphalt, it would be very expensive, upwards of $1 million. That's currently on hold, waiting coring results. The coring results did come in the meantime, and there are bricks underneath there. Talk about possible dates for having a public meeting to unveil the plans with Hitchcock Design, Robinson Engineering, the mayor, city council, and administration being in attendance. We talked about August 17th or 24th. We'll have a more firm date and get the word out as soon as possible after our meeting tomorrow. Under Alderman concerns, Alderman Bellato asked about the First National Bank building. It is up for auction in August. And there being no further business, it was moved by Alderman Pittman and seconded by Alderman Carr to adjourn. All were in favor. Motion was passed. The meeting adjourned at 9:08 p.m. The next meeting is tomorrow, August 10th at 7 p.m. in the City Council chambers.
Thank you very much, Alderman. Finance Committee?
No report, Your Honor. Our next meeting is Tuesday, August 16th at 6:30 p.m. in East Annex.
Thank you very much. Public Health and Safety Committee?
Yes, Your Honor. I've got the minutes from the meeting of July the 12th. Present were Chief James Clinker, Deputy Chief Michael Cornell, Commander Kevin Sisk, Alderman James Johansson, and myself. Absent were Director John Rita, Alderman Dexter Johnson, Alderman George Poulos, and Alderman Nancy Thompson. The meeting was called to order at 6:07. Under citizens' concerns, there were no citizens present. Under the fire department report, the fire department had 339 calls in June, 228 were EMS calls, 197 patients were treated, 170 patients were transported, and 59 patients refused transport. They responded to 23 general fire alarms and 27 minor fire alarms. They responded to 30 auto aid calls. They had 26 calls to man the station. They received 5 mutual aid response calls, including 1 boat response. Average response time was 5.3 minutes. Medical reimbursement services for June was $48,995.10. During the month of June, the fire department was called out on 1 partial building collapse at 13340 Old Western Avenue, 1 stove fire, 1 structure fire in Calumet Park, 1 electrical issue, 1 box alarm in Robbins, and a body recovery in Robbins. Under general, firefighter Andrew Walsh passed his probationary period. Firefighter Ray Houlihan was terminated. New firefighter candidate Jordan Boyce started the pre-employment testing process. The next date for Fill the Boot is July 29th. Actually, I believe that one was canceled and it was replaced by a date in August. The fire department attended Community Day June 11th at Bethel Pentecostal Church along with the police department, and the fire department and the police department attended Open Streets on June, I forgot the date, it was in June. Under maintenance, truck 2104 had hydraulic motor repair done by Fire Service Incorporated for a cost of $1,155. Under fire prevention inspectors inspected 5 alarm systems, 3 sprinkler systems, 24 annual inspections and re-inspections were done. There were 4 license inspections and 2 plan reviews during the month of June. The training division completed 460.69 hours of training. Firefighter McClement passed the public school inspection class. Firefighter Adlington is scheduled for hazmat ops class on September the 3rd at Marine Valley. Firefighter Stazuski and firefighter McDonald need to reschedule their state tests. Under the police department answered 2,697 calls for service, including 381 business premise checks. 78 were liquor establishment checks. Under statistics, there were 125 alarm calls, all unfounded, 1 armed robbery, 5 residential burglaries. There were multiple shots fired calls at the end of June. All were considered to be unfounded and were most likely fireworks. There were 86 domestic disputes and 422 traffic stops. Total money collected for the month of June was $29,325.49. The police department patrolled 19,445 miles. Under liquor establishment calls, there were 4 fight calls, 2 domestic disturbance calls, and 1 disturbance call. Under injuries, on June the 8th, an officer was bitten in the finger while attempting to take a person into custody. The offender was HIV positive, but the officer has since been tested and his test has come out negative. Under training, at the end of August, there will be de-escalation training for the entire department. And upcoming events, August the 13th is the Chicago Southland Dragon Boat Festival. Under the 911 Center, in June, the 911 Center answered a total of 10,886 calls. The 911 Center currently has 3 supervisors, and 10 full-time dispatchers and 2 part-time dispatchers. Gabe Campanero was hired as an administrative assistant. Starting in July, the 911 center will be using the power phone training. The supervisor area and filing system is being updated. And the UPS, the uninterruptible power system backup battery, has been updated to ensure that the 911 center never loses power. Under the monthly health and sanitation report, in the month of June, 22 health and sanitation inspections were done. Tom Elliott has been following up on business licenses and vending machine licenses. Under Alderman's concerns, Alderman Carr mentioned street signs that had been tagged with gang signs, and there was a short discussion of National Night Out events and the blessing of the water ceremony. The meeting was adjourned at 6:28. Our next regular meeting will be August 16th. That's next Tuesday at 6 p.m. here in the East Annex.
Thank you, Alderman. Municipal Services Committee, any report? No. Judiciary Committee?
Thank you, Mayor. In the minutes for July 7th of 2016, meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. Under public comment, Mr. Stiebel of 2324 Union Street spoke about an ongoing problem that he's having with the building and the water department regarding the property that he manages on Gregory Street. Next door to business was handicap parking, 2155 120th Place. There was a motion by Alderman Slattery and a second by Alderman Vieta to deny. All in favor, motion passed. Moving on to codification review, Title IX General Regulations. The definition of animal was expanded to include more than cats and dogs. There was a definition added for exotic animals, farm animals, and wild animals. Exotic animals and wild animals are prohibited. It was requested to include rooster in the farm animal definition in Chapter 94. Under health regulations, there were no additions. There was only language removed that did not apply. Section 94.75 smoking was revised to conform with state statute. Chapter 95 is under review with the mayor's office. It was requested to add a clause in Chapter 96 for a vote in the last meeting of January regarding an extension for holiday decorations. Next order of business was damage claim 2016-6236. It was confirmed with Public Works that there was no prior report of the pothole. Also, there was no pictures of the damage or pothole submitted. Motion by Alderman Vieta, second by Alderman Slattery to deny damage claim 2016-6236 to send to council for full consideration. All in favor, motion was passed. There was a motion by Alderman Vieta and second by Alderman Slattery to table denial of damage claims 2016-2346, 12236, and 2206 until next meeting. All in favor, motion was passed. Under Alderman concerns, Alderman Vieta asked about signage on Irving and Union that was approved to be rescinded, but has not yet been removed yet. There being no further business, it was motion by Alderman Slattery, second by Alderman Vieta to adjourn. All in favor, motion passed. Meeting was adjourned at 8:01 p.m. Our next meeting is Thursday, September 1st at 7 p.m. here in the East Annex. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Any aldermanic announcements or comments? Alderman Bellato?
First, I wanted to make a couple of comments about the mural. I was approached by Alderman Frausto many months ago, and I was very ecstatic to hear about the mural being repainted. I grew up right behind the mural. I live right behind it on Rexford Street, which is the street right to the east of Old Western Avenue. And I just couldn't believe that it was going to be finally redone. I probably walked past the thing tens of thousands of times, going to either Pablo's or Jim's Food and Liquor, going to pick up groceries for my parents, my grandparents. And being always a history person myself, my regular profession is a history teacher, you could put any immigrant group into that mural. They came here as laborers. My own family came here between World War I and then most recently came again during the 1950s, always as laborers, meat packers, railroad workers. My great-grandfather worked for the railroads. My grandfather was a cement mason. And you could put that, any ethnicity can go into that mural, and I was very happy that it was being painted regardless of what the title is or what Mexican-American, it's American immigrant experience in that mural, and I was very happy, and I made a donation. I couldn't wait to make a donation for this mural because I can't wait to improve the area. And again, I'm not the alderman for that ward, but I too live right behind there. You could see this building from the back of my window from my house, and I can't wait to see that intersection. So I commend Alderman Jairo and the committee for the Arts Alliance, and I know Mr. Pataska was here, or was here. I'm very glad that it's being repainted. I can't wait to see there. I want to be there the day you guys start repainting that. I just am really happy about that.
Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you. Go ahead.
And then I also have a comment about the Marine coming home. It's very close to home for me. My best friend was killed in Iraq, Captain David Schultz, and I escorted his family and his remains from Romeoville Airport back to Blue Island. And when I heard about this, I stationed my family right at 127th and Greenwood Avenue, so as soon as they turned the corner, they'd see myself and my kids with American flags. And for someone in the audience to say that just because they didn't see members of the council out there, I saw a majority of this council there along Greenwood Avenue amongst the hundreds of people that were out there, and I could see, where were you? It's very hard for me to understand for someone to make it a political issue over someone else's death, especially someone that served this country that has nothing to do with politics. And that bothers me. And I rarely ever say anything negative, but that was very close to home for me. My own best friend was killed in Iraq, bring his remains back to Blue Island, and it was very close that day. I was crying that day, and for you to make it a political issue is very, very petty. That's all I have to say about that.
Any other Alderman? Go ahead, Alderman.
I just wanted to comment with Alderman Bellato's nice comments. Thank you. I appreciate your support and all of council's support with this mural. I don't have a letter with me, but I will definitely be reading it out. And he spoke nice words about this project. And but I would just say thank you for being a gold sponsor. I don't have levels of sponsorship, but your donation was definitely up there in the gold and platinum standard. So thank you, and thank you again to all the council, and thank you for members of the council and Mr. Salas being present here for such a historic day. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the Alderman? Need a motion to adjourn? Motion by Alderman Queen, second by Alderman Rita. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Good night, everyone.
Don't forget to have a picture, guys.
Yeah, a picture.